let's get into now the Baltimore Ravens 7-round mock draft. But before we get into that, if you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and smash that bell so you can get notified whenever Tyler and I create new content. We are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the NFL draft. So if you could help us reach that goal, that would be very much appreciated. So Baltimore Ravens, they only have, 5 picks in this draft.
Yeah.
And I actually do like what they did. I have a feeling they might end up getting a few more if this Lamar Jackson thing continues to linger as they trade him. But let's get started here. They are picking at pick 23. Who do we have them taking?
We had them going with edge rusher Nolan Smith. It just always seems like one of the staples of this Ravens team is just to have an elite defensive side of the ball, especially their front seven. And they were kind of in, it felt like a weird spot because some of the top receivers were taken off. I think there was maybe Quentin Johnson, I think was still available. So I can absolutely see them going there. But Nolan Smith, though, brings a lot of speed power off the edge rush. And I think he would be a great complement that can get after the quarterback, especially if you look at the division that they're in now. But Joe Burrow, obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and Cincinnati's offensive line is going to be getting better. Kenny Pickett can move. Deshaun Watson can move. So if you want to be competitive in this division, especially with how the Ravens play, it needs to be getting after the quarterback on the defensive side of the ball and stopping any passing game. So I feel like Nolan Smith would be the pick here. But this is one of those picks where I think they can go so many different directions. I think they might be able to go offensive line. Definitely could see them go receiver. I don't think they won't go tight end.
No,
maybe they go Bijan Robinson as well. Like it might be a little early, I would say, but then you get 5 years. And imagine him and Lamar Jackson in the backfield if Lamar is still there. So a lot of different routes I think that they can go, and we ended up deciding going edge rusher here.
No, I really like this pick. I think Nolan Smith is skyrocketing up people's draft boards. He didn't play very much in 2022, but he was still an extreme leader in that locker room, and I think he played a crucial part in that the second national championship that Georgia won.
Yeah.
So,
and one key piece here as well on top of that, they have not signed to what I've been able to see or re-signed Justin Houston yet. Some of that might be depending on what happens with Lamar Jackson, and so
he's also like 36. Like he's
true,
really
but I think he can maybe be that replacement as well. So just saying, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you feel they should do, because when we looked at it and how I see it, there's a lot of different routes that the Ravens can go here with this first pick at 23.
Yeah. And next up at pick 87, we do have them taking a cornerback, Clark Phillips III from Utah. Marcus Peters is not coming back to the Ravens, and Marlon Humphreys is going to need a CB2, and I think Clark Phillips is that right away. I really like his tape from Utah. I think he does a lot of things well, and I think he'll be a day one contributor. He is a little raw in terms of his press man technique, and he is only like 5'11", 188. But he has the arm length, I think, to play on the outside. I think he would be a good matchup piece for the Ravens. And I just really like this pick. This is a really deep corner class, and I think it's smart that they dip into it here in the third round.
Yeah, getting great value here. Pair him up with Marlon Humphreys and also Kyle Hamilton, who they drafted last year, and then combine that now with their linebacking core led by Patrick Queen, and then also Roquan Smith.
Yeah.
Now you're looking. I mean, what I was saying earlier about why they should go maybe Nolan Smith is now this defense from position 1 to position 11 is just. It seems solid all the way through. No weak leaks in the chain on this defensive side of the ball, which makes them really tough to play against. So
especially the way they like to play offense.
Yeah. So with their next pick at 125, we felt it was probably best to now finally address the receiver position at going with Trey Palmer from Nebraska. Ryan, you're the receiver guy, and you like this pick a lot. You thought it was good value. Why so?
So he's about 6'2", 200, and he's a track star. He is a field stretcher. He has pretty good hands. He didn't really get the opportunity to showcase that at the Senior Bowl. I think some of that was Nebraska ran a very simple system, and so I think he got caught up in a bit of the schematics of everything.
Yeah.
And I think in the Ravens system, they do run a bit of a simpler passing offense, and I think when you combine his speed with what else they have on the field in Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson, and then J.K. Dobbins.
Mhm.
I like the presence of having a speedster, and he has a lead speed for his size. He's a mismatch, and I like what he can bring to the table for this offense.
Yeah, someone that is quick and shifty, and I think also if he can get on, if it is Lamar who is the quarterback that can get on the same page and can understand what Lamar likes to do, and that can improvise with that, I think can be a very dangerous combination for a lot of opposing defenses. And so that's a good point too about his Nebraska college. Also, during his entire time at Nebraska, Scott Frost was the coach, and we all know
Yeah,
how that has panned out. And
yeah,
so there could be a lot of unknown things about Trey Palmer and
yeah.
his capabilities, just because it just was not a good coaching staff there in Nebraska. And so let's move on though. Now they have two more picks, so let's kind of run through them here. At 159, also addressing the offensive skill position side of the ball, we have him going with Eric Ray, running back out of Oklahoma. Yes, they do still have J.K. Dobbins, but we still don't know how he's still recovering from his gruesome knee injury. I know he slowly came back, but seems to be struggling with injury. Same thing with Gus Edwards. Seems like they keep and then they just go into the tank for
More.
just more. There's just
Yeah,
veteran running back. So adding depth to that position, especially after the defense has already been solidified and their offensive line was second overall as well.
mm,
Trying to find some diamond in the roughs where you can improve a little bit is what we think that they're going to be doing in this draft. So I
yeah.
think getting a running back here, Eric Ray, is good value for the position.
No, yeah, I like him. He doesn't do one thing great. He just does a lot of things well. And I think when you're looking at your third or fourth running back on the depth chart, I think that's a very good thing to be, is just reliable. And I think that's what the Baltimore Ravens need. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then lastly, at pick 201, Ryan Hayes, the offensive tackle from Michigan, is who we have coming off the board here for the Baltimore Ravens. Just another versatile offensive lineman. I think he has the frame to kick in to play guard. Ben Powers did go to Denver this offseason, so there is a hole there. I just like he has a versatile frame. He can play on the right side. The only place he probably can't play is left tackle. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've talked about this, I think, probably for every single pick in the 200s. It's just trying to find good value for guys that maybe can contribute or you can develop.
mhm.
So going here, always want to have good offensive line depth, especially with the way that they play. So in general, with just 5 picks, I don't hate this draft. I think they got good value at all 5 of their picks. The big thing, obviously, we'll know a lot more once when they decide. When both Lamar Jackson and the Ravens kind of decide what
Mhm.
to do moving forward here. So I go back and forth in my head on what they should do because I can understand it as the Falcons fan who going into this offseason had a lot of cap space and also a lot of rumors that the Falcons were the number one trade target for them. And for me, I don't know what the price tag would be, but I think Lamar Jackson is worth a lot of money. But giving up a bunch of money on your free agency and giving it to one guy to a team that's still rebuilding, coming from as a Falcons fan, I
Mhm.
don't know if that's just the right move. But if I'm the Ravens, though, and I look at this team, you have one of the best defenses still. You have an offensive line and a running game. That's the way that they like to play. They need receivers, obviously, but I don't know. I'm curious what's kind of holding them back. Like maybe if they just don't have the money. But I mean, this was from even before free agency started, and like you had to cut players, but I had them at 27, I think, million in free agency in cap space, and I'm sure it's even gone up since then. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, kind of what the whole ordeal is. If there's maybe just some personal angst now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it is exactly, but I mean, whatever's holding it up is uh, causing more and more questions every single day. So I
Yeah,
I think in at the end he'll probably end up back in Baltimore, but at the same time, it's like I say that I could also see him very much leaving. So I
so
don't
now
know.
I would say now at this point, who who would trade for him? I mean, because like I saw something for the Texans, like maybe they would give up some draft picks, but I
Well,
I,
he's
I
on the
mean,
non-exclusive tag, so basically you would make him an offer, and then if the Ravens don't match it, they get your next 2 first-round picks. From what I believe, because you can't trade a non-exclusive tag.
Oh, okay.
From what I may be totally wrong on that. Leave a comment down below on
The
how the
procedures are, so to say.
non-exclusive franchise tag works. So
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
let's go ahead and wrap up the Ravens right there.